Next on Worcester News tonight, the city of Worcester is expected to pay millions to settle a more than 10-year delay over a proposed Skybridge. Plus, realizing a dream. Dozens of people become American citizens today at the Worcester Public Library. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. After a delay of more than a decade, the city of Worcester will not be constructing a Skybridge downtown. Thursday, a settlement was reached between Worcester and Fargo Management after the city refused to build the walkway. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with the details. Cam?
Anna, the lawsuit began back in 2012. The city manager says he hates to see $12.5 million go towards nothing, but he's relieved the process is finally over.
A Skybridge will not be built. The city of Worcester reached a settlement in a long-running lawsuit and will pay $12.5 million to the developers of the Hilton Garden Inn. City manager Ed Augustus is glad to move on.
We never want to hear about or think about the Skybridge again. It is not a great chapter in the city's history and one we want to put behind us.
Initial concepts had the bridge connecting the Major Taylor Garage to the Hilton Garden Inn, which was then connected to the DCU Center. The hotel is owned by Fargo Management, LLC. In a phone interview Thursday, a Fargo attorney says they were satisfied with the settlement.
It's really in the city's best interest to avoid what could have been a catastrophic loss had the matter not been settled. So this is a result that's good for everybody. We're all very happy that we're able to work it out and get it done.
The Skybridge concept was first proposed in 2003. In 2007, then city manager Michael O'Brien said he could not let it be built. Mayor Joe Petty was the city councilor at the time. He says downtown is doing fine and doesn't need the bridge.
Skybridge wasn't the way to go for the downtown, even though I think maybe the Skybridge from the hotel to the convention center, I know a lot of people have that. But at the end of the day, I think people are happy we're not building the Skybridge. So.
In 2016, it was ruled the hotel was entitled to the pedestrian walkways, as well as damages for the failure to build them. Despite the $12.5 million price, Augustus says the settlement shouldn't have an impact on the city and taxpayers.
We do budget an amount for those settlements and judgments, and so we do have enough in that budget every year to cover this cost, so that's how we'll pay for it.
Now, without a settlement, Augustus said the city could have had to pay up to $30 million. After a $1.5 million down payment, the city will have to pay $2.2 million every fiscal year for the next 5. Anna?
Thanks for that, Cam. The American Veterinary Medical Association and U.S. Postal Service teaming up for National Dog Bite Prevention Week. Now held in the second week of April, it aims to raise awareness of the importance of responsible pet ownership. In Webster, Post Office Officer in Charge Robert Leary says dog bites are one of the most prominent issues for his carriers. He hopes this week opens the eyes of dog owners.
Everybody's mind. We know it's not something people think about the way we would. So our message would be just please restrain your animals and be aware that we may be coming on the property at any time during the day.
In 2017, nearly 7,000 postal workers were attacked by dogs in the country, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A Worcester native will be among the group of elite runners during Monday's Boston Marathon. It means he's one of the top 24 runners in one of the world's top races. And even though he's reached elite status, he hasn't forgotten where he comes from. Our Chandler Walsh has the story.
Tim Ritchie makes easy strides on his high school cross-country course. The Doherty alum passed through his hometown on his way to Boston. On Monday, he'll join 24 others in the John Hancock Elite Men's Field.
It's easy now as a professional to get really caught up in the results and, just that pressure on yourself to be a professional athlete, but it's good to come home and remind yourself of where you started.
After graduating high school in 2005, Ritchie ran at Boston College before turning pro. He won the 2017 National Marathon Championship with a time just under 2 hours and 12 minutes, putting him in position to be in the elite field in Boston. He says Doherty laid the foundation for his career.
We learned to have pride in what we were doing. We learned the importance of teamwork. We learned just discipline and hard work.
Ritchie's high school coach Dan Rushton follows Ritchie's running career, and he says at Doherty, Ritchie was more than just a great runner.
He wouldn't worry about all the accolades coming to him by more than likely finishing first in his races. He would go back and cheer every single one of the runners on.
Rushton says Richie left a legacy for his cross-country team, and runners still look up to him.
They're always asking about how is Tim Ritchie, what is he doing? We want to meet him.
Richie says he comes back to run Doherty's course once a year and always thinks about where he came from.
Slowly chipped away at it, and now I'm competing with some of the best runners in the world, and I think that's a product of my development here in Worcester, and really proud to go out there and represent.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
It's a big day for dozens who officially became U.S. citizens at a naturalization ceremony at the Worcester Public Library. More than 70 people took their oath of allegiance Thursday. Our Brittany Schaefer was at the ceremony and has more.
Fidelity.
Lai Henlim has been waiting for today for a long time.
Today I got my citizenship, and it means a lot.
Henlim was among 74 people who became U.S. citizens during a naturalization ceremony at the Worcester Public Library. The native of Vietnam says the process wasn't an easy one.
It's a lot of work, a lot of studying, because they're going to pick certain questions in there, and there's a question that you would not expect, but you got to listen carefully. But at the end of the day, everything's worth it.
35 different countries were represented at the ceremony.
Florencia and Goro.
Mayor Joseph Petty took part in his first naturalization ceremony Thursday. He says Worcester is a welcoming city and immigrants are the backbone of our economy.
It's exciting when you swear in people who really appreciate coming to this country, appreciate what we have to offer, and really contribute here to the city of Worcester. See the excitement in their eyes, and one gentleman came up to me, he said, it took me 17 years.
And for all who were sworn in today, the feeling of happiness and excitement seemed unanimous.
It's a great day for me. And now finally I will live with my family.
I'm very proud, and this was a dream for me.
I feel very happy to be America. God bless America.
It feels great. It feels really great. I feel like, wow, you just had so much more freedom now. I can achieve most of everything.
And the new citizens also got to register to vote at the ceremony. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Temperatures are finally starting to warm up, but it has been a chilly start to the month of April, and the cold weather is affecting local farmers. Our Rosalind Flaherty explains.
The delayed spring weather is setting breezy gardens in Leicester back. It's making their jobs stressful because of all the money they've invested in their crops.
Absolutely indisputable about New England weather, and that's that it's unpredictable.
Owners Kim and John Meachek say this is the latest spring they've seen in recent years. They would normally start planting sweet corn next week, but the cold weather is keeping them from doing so.
The soil is too wet and too cold.
Another problem they're having is keeping their greenhouses warm. They have to use a lot more fuel at night in order for the plants to survive.
They eat heat when you're running this kind of temperature and this kind of weather.
The greenhouses are taking care of hundreds of flowers and plants. The owners say one of the only plants home gardeners can plant now are pansies.
It's probably the prettiest thing that can go in the ground now and give us a New England cheer up, lift our spirits.
They also expect the picking season for strawberries and blueberries to be pushed back, but are hopeful they will get a full crop lasting later into the season.
It is New England, things change. We could get into a whole new warmer weather pattern, and we could just go, things could warm up, and it's funny, we'll plant a week later, but it might only come in 2 or 3 days in the end.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.